Welcome to another episode of the Strategic Bookkeeper Podcast. Today we are talking customer experience. Why would you want to listen to that? Well, customer experience is the experience that your customers are having from their first interaction with your business. So imagine they visited your website or you've met them at a networking event. I've been an accountant referred you. No matter how they start, they begin to interact. It is the experience that they have every step of the way, okay? So going to dive into that today and give you a simple plan for how you can understand this and actually create and curate this customer experience and do it quite simply. And this is so important because this is key, 100% key to how you will or you will not onboard and retain your clients. And I'm sure you'd agree, if you can't onboard prospects and turn them into clients that stay with you for a very, very long time, you're probably not going to have a successful bookkeeping practice. Now, I am obsessed with customer experience, so I'm excited to bring you this episode today. So let's get into it. All right. So I've got my notes here, right? I'm going to use this because I really want this to be impactful. I want every one of my episodes to give you education and action that you can take away and do. Let's get into it now using my little notes. So I want to go through what customer experience is, why it matters, how it works, give you 7 things just to kind of do and the desired outcome. So let's start with the desired outcome. At the end of this podcast, simply, I want you to be able to, number one, to understand what is customer experience and why does it matter? And then I want you to have actually a clear, simple plan for how you are going to basically create and curate is the way I like to think of it. Create and curate that customer experience because you got one right now, right? If you're a bookkeeper in practice, if you're a startup and you haven't got any clients yet, then you're just going to learn from this, okay? But if you're a bookkeeper in practice, you currently have a customer experience, yeah? We're going to look at what that is and how you improve it. Just create one that is just what you need and how to get better every week. So what is customer experience? Because I remember the first time I heard that phrase and I was like, oh, that's one of those fancy marketing phrases. I'm just going to nod. Like a lot of marketing jargon, customer experience is actually, it's phonetic, is that the word? It's exactly as it sounds. It is literally the experience that I'm having interacting with your business and everything about your business, you or anything, anyone, any part of your business. Okay. Imagine a bike shop, for example. The customer experience is going to start when you are on their website, maybe doing your research. Yeah. So how user-friendly is their website? It's simply the experience. So just using that, for example. So I'm on the bike website and I'm looking for the bike I want. And it's either going to be a really lovely customer experience because I can easily get around the website. I can find what I want and yay, I'm feeling good. I'm having a good experience. Or this website's clunky and slow and I can't find what I want and a page just timed out. I'm having a poor experience. Customer experience is, when we think about it, it's an age-old principle, right? It is something that's been around forever. And in this digital world where bookkeepers are very much like online businesses these days, it hasn't disappeared. It is the heart and soul. Okay, I say the beating heart of your bookkeeping practice is promises kept. Let me tell you right now, read more about that in my books. But promises kept is part of the customer experience, right? If you are keeping your promises and always over delivering 1% or more, that is exactly what you need to do. So if you are not keeping your promises, if you are under delivering 1% or more, that is a poor customer experience. So see, customer experience can be the difference between satisfied and dissatisfied, okay? So what is customer experience? Just to stay on that one for a minute. As I said in that little intro, customer experience is the experience that I'm having. Now I'll pivot to talking about your bookkeeping practice. I'll be the client. So it's the experience that I'm having from the moment I interact with your bookkeeping practice through the life of my business with you. So when I'm doing business with you, okay? So let's just call it that. Now let's go into why this matters. I'll relate it to, I guess, my own story and so on. For example, let's go back to the bike shop that I used. If the customer experience from my first interaction doesn't make me feel good, if I'm not having a good customer experience, how likely do you think I am to go visit the bike shop and purchase the bike? Or if I'm not having a great experience, but I decide to go in, I'm going to go in with, we'll call it a little bit of an attitude, right? Like I'm going to go in thinking, oh, so far, so bad, right? Rather than so far, so good. The customer experience, why it matters is, let's go back to the beginning for you as a bookkeeper. So when that prospect interacts with your business, the first impressions last, right? The age-old principle. And I was working with a bookkeeper today. She showed me my website and I said, it's not bad, but it's not where we need it to be, because the first impression was going to be, maybe that's a DIY website. It doesn't make me feel that confident, capable, professional that I want. I'm not having the experience, okay? So when somebody comes and visits your website, meets you at a networking event, hears about you from an accountant, all these things begin the experience they're having with your business, okay? So it's quite simple. I mean, in terms of why that matters, if they don't have a good experience at the beginning, they'll likely not even make an inquiry. So when you improve customer experience, say at the beginning, you'll get more people that look at you or hear about you actually make an inquiry, right? So all along the way, the opportunity exists with customer experience to actually do more business, okay, to grow your bookkeeping practice, all right? Now, let's say that person makes an inquiry, then the next step is the needs analysis, okay? Structured needs analysis, like I talk about in my book. Then the customer experience is happening in the needs analysis, okay? It's then that you're hoping that you're going to be able to turn this prospect into a client. If you're not able to understand what the customer experience should really look like, and good news, it's really simple. We'll get to how in a second. So if you don't understand how to create a good customer experience, then they probably won't buy off you. It's like step one, get them to make an inquiry or tell other people you look fabulous. As I talk about in my first book, it's either they're in your pipeline, they reach out, they make an inquiry, or they become advocates. The customer experience is going to do that. And the second part, the customer experience is going to drive whether they give you money. And then after that, the customer experience is whether they're going to give you money again, right? Give you money, stay with you as a client, and refer work to you. Okay. So why it matters, you're going to be scratching your head wondering why other bookkeepers are getting booked up and so on, while you are struggling and clients are leaving you and so on. And do you know what? It can be the littlest things, because business success is detail. Okay. And when I say customer experience is easy, it's easy on the surface. There's some basic things. I was talking to my clients it was last week, we were in one of the coaching sessions, and I said to them, everything that I teach you, like customer experience and all these other things, right? Brand and all these other things, I want you to think of them like rabbit holes. So over here, I'm looking at the bookkeeping practice blueprint. You've got a link to this here. But all the moving parts of how you build your bookkeeping practice, ultimately how you find, onboard, and retain clients without price as a priority. We've got plan, we've got brand, we've got your products and pricing ecosystem, we've got the conversion process, the product ladder, the financial management. I think of these as like a paddock full of rabbit holes. And I show you the rabbit holes, but slowly you go down them. So with customer experience, for example, we want to make sure you're getting the basics right. But I'd also like to help you with how every day, in a simple way, you can go down the customer experience rabbit hole. Because I've had my bookkeeping practice now for almost 16 years. I can't believe it. And over that 16 years, I have sought to listen to my customers and to improve how we do things, to improve the customer experience. And what I noticed is retention went from good to great. My retention was always good because the truth is I always understood promises kept, the beating heart of your bookkeeping practice. But my retention these days, we call it the forever client. It's outstanding. Okay. So you know why it matters. It's a difference between succeeding and failing, one of the things, but it is a big one. Okay. We've got into why it matters. Now let's look at how we are going to create and curate this customer experience. So I've got my list right here. There's 7 parts to it. So let's run through all 7 in terms of how you're going to do this. Now you understand it. Now you think, okay, well, it seems important. Let's keep it really simple and avoid overwhelm. So 7 points. Number 1, we've ticked it off already. Understand what customer experience is and why it matters. If you know that now, you are on the right foot because most bookkeepers don't understand what it is, but now you know what it is. So number 1, okay, I know what it is now. It's just the experience people are having from the moment they interact with my business. I know that. And I know why it matters. This is really important. This is going to be a big part of how I build a successful, thriving practice. Okay. So number 2, review your current customer experience. So you have a customer experience, right? So we need to review that. And in a moment, I'll give you a bit more direction on that. Okay. So number 3, listen to your prospects and clients. Okay. There's something I say at work, and that is that feedback is my love language. Okay. And feedback is my fuel, which I learned of another mentor of mine. Listen to your prospects and clients, take radical accountability for everything in your business. When somebody complains, all they're saying is, I didn't get the experience that I wanted. And the only opportunity to improve is actually when you hear how things could have been done better. I literally send flowers to anyone that complains. And I say, thanks to you, my business has improved. My customer experience has improved. Thank you so much. I can hear all the good stuff every day of the week, but what I need is the constructive criticism, also known as complaint. So that was number 3, listen to your prospects and clients. Number 4, take a better every week approach. We literally have a meeting every week, and it's called the Better Every Week meeting. It's from the Scrum framework. So just aim to be 1% better every day or every week. That would be 50% better in a year if you're 1% better. Imagine being 50% better, right? So that was number 4. Number 5, I love this one. Be an investigator as a consumer. So because I'm obsessed with customer experience, my brain goes a bit crazy as a consumer. So whenever I am buying products and services, and I mean everything, I actually observe the customer experience end to end. And I look at, like, what is the experience I'm having? How's it making me feel? How is that connecting to like what they were hoping that I felt? And where the customer experience goes, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. And then it just falls off and it's terrible. And how easily they could have improved it to just get that right. So become like an investigator. Just when you're out buying, whether it's clothes or something for the kids, or you've organized a solar quote at home, whatever it is, observe your own experience as a consumer, because that's all it is, customer experience. You go to a website, did it make you feel like, yeah, that's easy, I got the information I wanted, right? Everything. So number 6, look for customer experience relevant to bookkeepers. Okay. Number 6 is simply about look at your customer experience and look at enhancing it only relevant for you. Okay. So that's what I want to help you as a bookkeeper frame this up for you as a bookkeeper. Okay. So number 7, remember that customer experience doesn't start when they give you money. It starts at their first interactions with your business. And we'll do some examples in a second. So first interaction could be visiting your website, meeting you at a networking event, going to your social media, hearing about you from someone that they know, and so on. You know, if you think about the cost of a disgruntled client is the bad word of mouth, and that creates bad customer experience, okay? Let's just go back in a simple way. So we've got what is customer experience, review your current customer experience. We've got all those 7. So now I just want to give you a few tips on how you're going to do this. And I'm just going to share a few real life experiences, looking at my list of 7 and actually going from the bottom up. So you're a bookkeeper in practice and I'm interacting with your business at the beginning at a networking event. I'm going to use that one because that's easy to forget. So I'm at a networking event. And what's a good customer experience? You are showing them that you're confident, capable, professional, and warm and friendly. How could you do that at a networking event? Okay. Confident, capable, professional, warm and friendly. It's so easy. And yet many bookkeepers get it wrong. So when my son was really, really little, and you may relate to being a mum, it's hard even to get your clothes on, not inside out in the morning. For me to make sure that at my networking event, I was able to create and curate the customer experience, I got myself a uniform. Like I had a little shirt and I had my logo for my bookkeeping practice on that. And I just wore the same kind of thing every week. And I just looked confident, capable, professional, right? I always turned up early. Yeah. And I just was well mannered. So I looked organized, relaxed, calm, and shook people's hand. I looked them in the eyes, etc. Now that may sound simple. So I was at this networking event one day and I was introduced to a guest who was an accountant. And he was probably feeling really nervous, but he shook my hand. They said, Jeannie's the bookkeeper. You're the accountant. We thought we'd introduce you. He shook my hand and said, hi, I'm so-and-so. All the bookkeepers I've met are terrible. Do you think that was a good customer experience? My first interaction with him in his business, telling me that the people in my industry are terrible. Now, I understand he might have been trying to say, oh, but hopefully you're not. But it didn't really land. Okay. So the right customer experience should be created and curated really simply. And some of it is simply basic manners. Okay. So let's look at how you can do that and some key touch points that I have learned from my clients when I changed up the experience were mind blowing in terms of what they experienced and therefore the likelihood that they would continue giving me money every month and stay with me. Basically, in my practice, if somebody was coming through to my website, I've always had a really professional website, but then I also set it up so if they made an inquiry, it would do a forwarder to my phone and I would know immediately so I could get back to them immediately. Ding, first one in customer experience. Get back to the person immediately. So see how you could look at your customer experience and curate it. Like if a cold lead, let's call it, reaches out to you from your website, how fast do you get back to them? I was lightning speed. So you can just look at little things that you can do. Does your website look professional? Does it make you look like a confident, capable professional? Can people get in touch with you easily? From the get-go, very early, I had a 1-300 number. I still do to this day with a 24/7 receptionist, and the phone was answered immediately. I got a message that went to a special place. I got a ding and I rang them immediately. And they would say, wow, that was so fast. Thank you for calling me back fast. I created and curated the customer experience because I know how important this is. Okay. The bookkeepers that I work with inside my network, they just emulate what I do. Okay. So those two things are so easy. Don't worry if you can't get them done today. You can listen to this again. So let's just go to when the person actually says, I need some help with bookkeeping. The next thing is the needs analysis. Basically, I have a structured needs analysis and the customer experience allows them to validate that I'm a confident, capable professional. That's exactly what they need to know. And they want to work with me. So from there, when we go and do a proposal and they pay us some money, etc., the next point I want you to think about that I once made a big mistake with is that when they press go on working with me, I knew what was going to happen. So I was like, great, they press go. I'll swing into action. I'll check my calendar. I'll schedule. I'll give them a call in a few days, whatever it is. But they didn't know what was happening. So what we have when I'm working with my clients that you can emulate, the client onboarding, the customer onboarding, the minute they press go, you should send a communication, just an email that says, thanks so much for pressing go. Let me explain what to expect next. That's all. Just tell them what to expect. It could be you're not going to hear from me for a week. Here's my mobile number. Here's the person that's going to handle your account. Here's what to do if you've got questions. You can call me anytime. The moral of this story is tell them what to expect next. I never used to do that. Now, another tip for you as a bookkeeper in practice, something that I learned from my clients when I got constructive criticism, catch-up rectification work. So horrible experience for your clients, okay? Now, use a project management sheet. Do not bombard them with emails. We use a Google sheet, right? Just a Google sheet. We keep track of everything we're waiting on from them. And we know, have they given it to us? Have they not? Have we asked them for it? Once a week, we just make sure they've got that. Then we call them and we say, listen, we just want to go through these items with you, okay? Because the feedback was, oh, I was just getting all these emails requesting things from me and it was overwhelming and I just didn't want to do it anymore. Great. Now I know I can improve the customer experience. That one, I can tell you right now, onboarding and catch-up rectification, game changing. Okay. And so they'll go from catch-up rectification to being the forever client. Okay. So that's a few things that you can look at. Just to wrap this podcast episode and not make it too long, I'll ask you, going through this 7-point plan. So number one, you know what customer experience is and why it matters. Okay. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't go to perfectionism. Know that it's all about being better every week. Okay. So this is number 4. You can look at your current customer experience and listen to your prospects and clients. Never again, if somebody complains or seems a bit up, you think that is amazing. Feedback is the fuel for my customer experience to get better. Rather than get overwhelmed, just look at being 1% better every week and just take the opportunity to improve things on the fly. Because if you improve one thing here and there, whether it's your website or how you respond to someone, or I'm going to get a 1-300, or I'll do a better needs analysis, or I'm going to do that onboarding email, I promise you, if you just do one little thing on the job, on the job in real life with your clients over the space of a year, 2 years and more, if you commit to being better every week, your customer experience is going to be wonderful. It's going to be exactly what it should be. Okay. I guarantee you that. So be the investigator. You will create a better customer experience for your clients if you are out there noticing the customer experience that you're having when consuming products and services, okay? And learn customer experience relevant to you as a bookkeeper. And also just don't forget, it does start with their first interaction with your business, okay? So that is a wrap on today's podcast tonight where I am. It is evening. I'm looking at the clock. After this, I will probably go and have some dinner. But that is a wrap. I have been excited for about a week to give you this content because it is so impactful. And I'm excited to bring you the next episode as well. And I'll see you then.